The Hittite Empire, an empire of Mesopotamia, by Arush Bhardwaj,
Madison Giswaldo,
and Faryana.
Dates it ruled 1600 to 1180 BC, so it technically ruled for 420 years. And that's a long time because it technically got passed down to the king's son and then the king's son's son, and it basically just got passed through the family that long. Where did the Hittites live? Well, the Hittites lived in what they called back then with Asia Minor, but today it's Turkey. And if you look on a map, or this one in particular, there's a circle around Turkey. It's a big black circle, and there's a bright green arrow that points to it, and there's giant letters that say right here, so I don't think you'll have any trouble finding it.
the one big achievement. Hittites achieved many things, but the most important one was probably their laws or legal codes. These laws are much like Hammurabi's code, but a little different. It's a list of laws that include aggression and assault, obligations and service, contracts and prices, contracts and tariffs, marital relationships, assaults on property and theft, and sacral matters. But why did the Hittites need these laws? Look on the next slide to find out.
Why were these laws needed? These laws were needed because they helped all different parts of aspects of society stay organized, fair, and realistic, since some Hittites wouldn't follow the regular Mesopotamian rules. They showed the Hittites that there are prices to pay if the wrong thing is done.
Yeah, so technically, if you were in another city and you were another town, I mean, you wouldn't follow like the whole state's rules. So each town needs to have like their own set of rules. So say you were ruled by some state and they had their own rules, but your colony doesn't follow them. You need to have your own because they'll more likely listen to them because it's actually their own king, not the other one. Laws examples. So here are some examples of laws, and they're kind of in like a funky language because this is the beginning of language. So the first law is not the first law, but one of the laws is if anyone kills a man or woman in quarrel, he shall bring them for burial and shall give 4 persons, male or female respectively. He shall look to his house for it. If anyone injures a person and temporarily incapacitates him, he shall provide medical care for him. In his place, he shall provide a person to work on his estate until he recovers. When he recovers, his assistant shall pay him 6 shekels of silver and shall pay the physician's fee as well. So, technically, because I had so much trouble reading this is a very funky language, but you can look on the next slide to decode it all. And yeah, I'm not going to stutter as much now because it's in our language.
So, translation of these laws. Basically, these are what the laws on the last slide mean. If anyone killed someone in a fight, they shall bring the dead person to be buried and give 4 people. If one person injures another and temporarily prevents them from functioning normally, they must get medical care for the person who's injured and work for them until they are healed. When they are healed, the injurer will have to pay 6 shekels of silver and pay the physician's fee. Yes, the wording is very weird, but this was one of the first languages, and through the millions of years, it was revised to what we have now.
How the laws help. These laws were very helpful to the Hittites because it organized everything and kept everything fair. This led to peaceful community and not many attacks or problems. The laws helped the Hittites have a system of respect and fairness.
Yeah, and some of these laws basically are what we have today because there's a crime and then there's also a punishment for that, and no pun intended, because the book by Warren or whoever. But they basically some of them are transferred over to today because there are, if a crime is committed, you have to have a punishment and you have to pay. So, we kind of have our own laws and we follow the Hittites law code a little bit.
Thanks for watching.